and Happy New Year. Welcome back to the A Plus U podcast brought to you by Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union. I'm your host, Danielle.
And I'm your co-host, Amber.
Happy New Year, Amber.
Hey, Happy New Year.
What's up, 2026?
I know. Can you believe it?
No.
It went by so fast.
No, girl.
I was very excited, though, because the first time I wrote the year, I did it right.
Which is always a challenge. You're always like,
I was like, I've been
scribble.
preparing for this day for 3 days, and now I'm ready.
And now I'm ready to write 2026.
Yep. I didn't write anything down for anything in 2025 the last week of December. I was
That's
like,
so
no.
funny. I always like get a kick out of like in the stores and stuff, you know, there's always like glasses with the year. Like, how are they going to make this one with 2 eye holes?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like every year, it's like a thing that I am like, how are they going to do that?
Oh, they'll make the 6.
I'm sure they, yeah.
Yeah.
It was. But like in some years, you're like, show me how you're going to do that.
Oh, the 7. Yeah, for next year.
Pull that off. Can't wait to see it.
You know, challenge accepted. Gonna come back with 2027 glasses at the end of this year.
Oh my gosh. We should. That would be
We
so fun.
should.
Call back.
Yep.
Okay. Make a note. Well, it's New Year. It's time to tune up your finances. So today we are going to have Jamy Olson here talking to us about getting your finances all in order for the new year. New year, new you, right, Jamy?
Right. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on. This is very exciting.
It's so fun to have you here. All the way from Brainerd.
Yes. Central Minnesota, for those of you who don't know.
Central.
Mm-hmm.
Brainerd Lakes area.
Yes, exactly.
What lakes do you have in Brainerd?
A lot of them. many of the 10,000 lakes are located around the Brainerd Lakes area.
Didn't know if you had a favorite.
No, I don't.
There's no favorite?
I mean, I don't. This is going to shock people. From Brainerd,
You don't do the lake.
I don't own a boat.
Oh, well,
Nah.
that's okay.
I know.
That's okay.
I know.
Do
I don't own one
Do
either.
you do
Okay.
Same. I don't either. So do you not do lake activities? Kayaking?
Lakeside dining
All right.
is definitely on the list. Yes, that's
Okay.
a good thing.
Going on other people's boats.
If they're available, yes. And I
See?
just don't know why people like
Don't know.
you have the boat. Like, give me the keys. It's fine. How much
Yeah.
training do you need?
A lot.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll figure it out.
I do
figure
not
I can-
recommend just picking up the keys to a boat and driving.
Brainerd Lakes area, keep your keys to yourself.
Yes.
Watch out.
Jamie is on the prowl.
Don't give them to Jamy. She has not driven a boat. I'm just kidding. I don't know if she's driven a boat.
I have driven a pontoon once,
Once.
and everyone remarked at how slowly I was driving it.
Hey, slow and safe.
Slow and safe. Exactly.
You know-
Exactly.
I think this is a good thing. Yep.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Always.
Yeah.
Turtles are my favorite animal.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Jamie, as we enter the new year, you know, what does that look like in terms of tuning up your finances? We say tune up your car to keep your car in shape. So what does it look like to kind of do the same for your finances?
Well, I know a lot of people look at the new year as a time to make New Year's resolutions, to make big changes in their life, certainly. And I think all the research has shown big change is hard. It's difficult. It takes a lot of work. And actually, the best way to make changes is sometimes to make small changes, changes that can add up over time, make new habits. So a lot of the memes I'm seeing right now are saying, it's 2026. Don't look in the rear view mirror. That's not part of your life anymore. You're going forward. And I got to be honest, with finances, you don't get to leave behind last year.
Oh, gosh.
It's not just like the calendar flips over and nothing comes with you.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be, but also, like, you have to look back to know what's coming.
Yes, exactly. If you don't look behind you,
Mm-hmm.
that trailer of stuff that you're still bringing with you, you got to watch out.
Exactly.
Coming for you.
Yeah. But also, like, it could be like planning things though too. Like something exciting that happened last year and it's like a reoccurring event, whether it's a birthday, a holiday, something like that you also just want to prep for.
Plan ahead. Exactly. If you were caught off guard by something, that's a good time to reflect. Why was I caught off guard by that? What can I do differently? How can I change this? Make different choices? Or even you could look back, and we don't like to live with regrets, certainly, but you might think, gosh, that 2-day vacation that I was able to squeeze in, I wish it had been a longer vacation. how are you going to make that change this year? How are you going to get that to happen for yourself?
Well, yes. All the vacations. Okay, so once we've looked at last year and kind of understand like, where that led us and where we ended up, like what are the steps to building that solid foundation?
I would say the steps you want to take in building a solid foundation do involve some of the more analytical side of finances. So doing a budget.
Yep. I think I've heard it before.
I don't know about your budget face. You just made like,
no,
I'm not sure.
It's so funny because we talk through a lot of different like financial situations. We talk about finances all the time. And I think literally everybody that sits in that chair
says budget.
Yep. Like, and it's just this reoccurring theme that obviously is super important because the second time I've quoted Tony, but if you're not making a budget, you're guessing.
You are guessing. Yes. And back to Tony's episode, laying that foundation, having a good foundation going, that's what your budget does. And I think a lot of people hear the word budget and budgeting, and they might hear it with some context around it that is negative. People are sometimes thinking of it as I have to restrict things in my life. I have to make major changes. I have to act like the person who lives next to me. When the reality is the word budget just is an accounting for what's coming in financially and what's going out financially. It really isn't an actual plan. It's just the truth of what's happening. So that's where, when you think about budgeting, it's just writing down where your money is going and where it's coming from.
And having that awareness to it. Because you don't want to be unaware. That's when you can hit like a pitfall or a mistake and be unprepared for something that happened last year, but you want to be prepared for it this year.
Yeah, having a plan.
And when you're making that plan, I mean, I think it's okay to say like, yes, you want to understand money coming in and money going out and where is it all going. But like you said, we don't need to make this huge resolution. Just focus on like one or two things. I want to save $10 more. I know what my budget looks like. I understand coming in and going out. I want to make one change, two small changes, and let's revisit that in 6 months instead of like saying this whole huge thing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen, and having it be really overwhelming.
I think that's the pitfall that you get into is if you do try to make it too big, too fast, and too soon. And Jamy, you said it before, like big changes are far difficult, but little small changes over time are easier to tackle versus immediate big change right now.
Exactly. They stack up.
Yes.
You're going to change your life in a major way through very small incremental changes. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a lose 40 pounds before your next vacation. It's knowing what you have going on, making those small changes. That's where it's going to get you to the bigger picture. So, Danielle, I heard you say, like, I want to start saving $10. That's a very good, specific action. But what's the goal? What is the value that's leading you to want to save those $10? Do you want to save up for a vacation, for a holiday, for presents that you want to give? Are you saving up because you want to be able to plan for retirement? So it's also working your values in to these changes, because you can save money for the sake of saving money. It is just $1. It's a number. You can just keep adding that number up. But if you don't have like a reason that's guiding you towards that number, it's so easy to get off course or to not know the why behind what you're doing.
And that why, I mean, I think, right, it can be just because I want to have $100 in savings. That would make me feel financially secure. But you're right. There should be like some type of reason.
Well, that's a great reason. Security. Yeah. Feeling like, okay, if something comes up, I've got this. Like I have this one thing I have under control now. And then being able to build on that.
I think that's the biggest thing too, is like now that you've kind of identified the priority of whatever goal it may be, how do you stick to that?
Sticking to your goals is something where setting those values, setting those goals, the top priority in your life is going to really inform those small changes and habits that you're going to build over time. that's where having that major goal that you're working towards can be such a guidance and a way to reflect back as you're going through some of the harder parts of working with money, some of the not so fun times maybe. It at least gives you something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. So when you're thinking about those savings goals, what are some like techniques and something that could take the stress out of either a budget, setting a savings goal? What are there tools out there? Are there resources?
So many resources are out there. So at Affinity Plus, we offer our financial education center right on our website. That'd be like a really self-directed way to learn. So if you're the sort of person who likes to read an article, become really informed on your own, it's a great resource because you can do it from home. Anywhere, really, that you have a mobile device, you can go and learn. Another great thing that we have accessible at Affinity Plus, we have our financial coaches. I know we've talked to some of our financial coaches before on this show, and they are just such an amazing resource for finding out, am I staying aligned to my goals? How can I do this better? Our online site as well in our financial education center has actual budgeting tools and calculators, and you can create your own profile, which will help you then track and monitor all of your progress.
So Jamy, you talked a lot about different tools that we can use for our money management. What are some methods that we could use for our money management?
A great way to do it is to automate some things. So, for example, if you can set up automatic bill pay, if you can automate the way that you're paying your loans, if you can make maybe smaller payments more frequently on your loans, sometimes that can feel a little bit better. Making a payment out of every single paycheck means you're making a smaller payment, which psychologically just feels better, but it's keeping you on track. And actually, depending on how your institution applies that payment, you're going to save money on interest. You're probably going to pay off your loan even sooner by doing that, which is amazing. Automating your bills, making sure your bills are set up on automatic payment can be great as well. You're just not having to think about it every single minute of every single day. You'll take it off of your plate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In aligning with that, you do want to have an emergency fund because sometimes the automatic bill doesn't line up perfectly with the paycheck. You miss it by a couple days. So you would want to have a backup savings account, having that emergency fund ready to go because you're going to be able to replace that money. How do you build that automatic savings goal? I also like to automate your savings right when the paycheck comes in. Put a little bit into that savings account. We've talked about that before where it's like pay yourself first. You are worth saving for. So automate that as well with your paycheck. Yeah.
You talked a lot about like automating your bills. Like one thing that I love to do is strategically plan my bills out throughout the month. And I feel like I'm a broken record on this because Danielle, I name my savings account for knowing what bills are for what, but like my electricity bill is always due on the 7th of the month. And I know that, but then I always have the money ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And based off of each paycheck, I know which bills are due. And the months where there's like an extra paycheck or something like that throw me off because I'm like, this is not how this is supposed to be. But that is helpful. And I know I've worked with members of sitting down and going over that with them. And it's sometimes like it takes a month or two to get on track to be able to have, I know for this payroll, this bill's coming out, and for this payroll, this bill's coming out. But even like you said, of maybe splitting a bill into each payroll
Into two parts.
into
make
two
it smaller,
payments.
make it more digestible. Are there bills that are going to be really, really high in the winter? We live in Minnesota, so we know that our heating bill is high about 6 months out of the year. But can you actually start paying a higher amount in the summertime?
Mm-hmm.
Pay ahead? Sure, that's not money sitting in your bank account earning interest, but if it's that peace of mind knowing that you're paid ahead, knowing that you can have that very similar steady payment throughout the year instead of a shocking amount of a payment a few months out of the year, and then a little bit more freedom other months, it just makes that consistent for you, makes it easier to stay on track.
Absolutely. And I think the other side of it too is even contacting any of your bills, like your billing companies. I know Affinity Plus, you can always pay your prepay early. We love it. Save an interest for yourself. You just mentioned like about heating bills. I know there's different programs out there too. It's opening that line of communication to wherever you're reaching out to.
Yeah.
Well, and to your point, Amber, some places will let you change your due date,
Yeah.
right? So like, if my electricity bill is due on the 7th, maybe my cell phone bill can be due on the 20th, and that breaks it kind of into the month a little bit. So you're paying one bill at the beginning and one bill kind of at the second half. These are just examples because everybody is so different. Some people only get paid once a month, right?
Yes.
So they have to kind of figure out what does that look like for that whole month. And so, everything tracks easily and they're able to get through the entire month without being in a sticky situation. So it is nice that, everybody's situation is different, but it's also like it is uniquely you because it's different. You can make this work however you need to make it work. And sometimes, like talking with someone, like you said, a financial coach, that is just someone to like look at something from a totally different perspective. Like sometimes someone, my husband will come up and be like, why don't you cook the rice this way? And I'm like, duh, that's so smart. But I've been doing it the same way for 10 years that like, I don't even think about it anymore. But it's the same thing with like your money, right? You've been paying your bills the same way, or you haven't been managing things well and you feel like you're drowning all the time. Like having someone to just like completely unbiasedly like take a look at everything and be like, hey, if you did this way, it might make your life a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Offer new thoughts, new perspectives.
totally.
Personal finance is personal because it is just you dealing with it sometimes. When you bring in an outside person to look at it with you and give you those ideas, it's like your eyes are open to a whole new way of doing things. And you're like, I would have never thought of that.
100%.
This is amazing. Why haven't I been doing it that way? Or you might look at it and you might say, oh, that's not going to work for me. That is not the way I manage my money. But at least you were able to talk through some of those differences and understand math is math. Money in, money out. That's kind of the simple formula of money. But the way you handle it for yourself, that's going to be the personal side.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you don't know what you don't know. Talking to other people about it can really help to open your eyes and give you some new ideas of what you can do.
Well, and it kind of goes back to something that's also kind of another theme that we bring up now and then is just like, there's just this psychological, like emotional connection to money. I mean, it is, and because you're so in it and it is like driving a lot of what we do every day, being able to take a step back and have someone else give you a completely different perspective can like really help from a completely like unbiased opinion. Like I'm telling you, like, we're sitting in a branch and we're helping somebody. The fact that we're helping somebody is what we care about. Like I could really care less about, the bills that you're paying or the debt that you're in. Like, let me just be a resource for you and help you figure that out rather than like judge you, because where's that going to get any of us?
Nowhere. And I
Exactly.
would say, thankfully, Affinity Plus is a judgment-free zone.
100%.
Like I see people choosing to do different things with their money all day, every day. Things that I wouldn't do or things that I'm like, that's amazing and I wish I could do that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Personal finances, though, become very emotional because money is used for our most important things in life, for our family, for our house, for our experiences. And that's where you can't separate the emotion from money all the time, but you can step back and see, are there things that I am making emotional decisions about that maybe I do need to step back and review what I've been doing and work it into my budget. There's things that you should be doing with your money if they make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to be able to afford them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think it goes back to the rear view mirror. You have to have awareness of what happened before. So that way, if it is something good that you want to bring into the next year, great. If it's something you want to leave behind, what steps are you going to take in order to do that?
Exactly. And reviewing how you have handled money
Mm-hmm.
will reveal some of those emotional triggers. It'll reveal some of those, what you might consider a negative habit around money, where you realize when I get stressed, I go shopping. And I'm shopping without any plan. And I'm spending money that when I look back on what I spent, I go, oh, I almost don't remember doing that. Because you were in such a state of emotion at the time that you said, oh, okay, how could I deal with this better going forward? Instead of making that decision, what else can I work into my life to say, I'm very stressed. What am I going to do tonight to relieve the stress. I'm going to go cook with my family. I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to, take a day off and treat myself to something else. But can I redirect that away from some of these things that you might consider negative habits?
It's like not going grocery shopping when you're
Hungry.
hungry.
Oh my gosh. Right. Mhm.
Seriously. Well, Jamy, all this information today has been like so good. And I love your perspective on the, that rear view mirror that we've kind of touched on a couple times. The rumor is you're going to be doing a webinar at the end of the month. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So Affinity Plus, along with our Financial Education Center, we're going to be doing webinars hopefully throughout the year, but I'm going to do the first one. We're kicking off with budgeting and spending, and we invite all community members, our members and everyone in the community to join us. You're going to be co-hosting with me?
I am. I am a co-host queen. I don't want to host. I just want to co-host.
I'm the co-host queen. I love that. That's awesome. So when is the webinar?
Our first one is going to be January 27th.
That's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday at 6 p.m. in the evening, and you sign up on our events page at affinityplus.org.
Thank you, Jamy, so much for joining us today. Be sure to check out affinityplus.org to get more information on Affinity Plus and financial education, and subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts. We'll catch you next time on the next episode of A Plus U.